Welcome back to the Cricket Matters podcast, and today's topic is why club cricketers struggle against spin. And apparently, according to my co-host James Breese, it isn't what you think. So if it isn't what I think, although I don't know what I think, what is it?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Big
Is
mysteries
it, okay,
of
just
the
a quick
universe.
question for you. Serious. In your opinion, as a you're a middle order batsman, right?
Yeah, I'm an opening batsman. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, how can I forget that? Sorry, as
I
an
know.
opening batsman, my apologies. Terrible. Taking you down the order there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say it's harder to face fast bowlers or spin bowlers? Or obviously they both have their challenges, but what would you rather face?
Great question. Fast bowlers being above 80 miles an hour. Let's categorise that. I think that's an important thing. It's a different game
Kettle of fish.
altogether. Yeah, it is. It's two separate games. So as an opening batsman, I predominantly faced fast bowling, right?
Yep.
And in club cricket, you're not really facing that many bowlers above 80 miles an hour, right? Unless you're playing high-level Premier League cricket and going into second 11 county and going to county cricket. I think that's a really important distinction. However, funnily enough, I'm facing more and more 80-mile-an-hour bowlers at the moment, so I'm going to change my game and work accordingly to it, because it's a different style. I personally enjoy playing spin bowling. I really enjoy it, because I've worked on it hard the last 2 to 3 years, because it was when I came back into cricket looking at club level. The big thing I noticed was the vast majority of club cricketers struggle against spin, the topic of this podcast. Yeah. And what I found was, actually, I need to relearn how to play spin. So I spent really 2 to 3 years really honing that tactic and the technique and working with Steve and working on my game around different players, because there's a lot of spin bowlers, good club spin bowlers at a better level. There's some, let's take like in South Wales Premier League and Div 1 cricket, you get 2, maybe 3 seam bowlers, then it's dominated by good spin bowlers, right? Okay. So there's a high proportion of spin bowlers getting involved.
They generally face more spin then, do they?
Well, the lower down they tend to face more seam, but then the spinners come on. So it's a balance between the two. The higher up the ranks you go in club level cricket, the more spin bowling you face, and that's where people get unstuck. So it's a roundabout way. To answer your question, I enjoy facing spin bowling now because it's a game plan I've got to it, but I have to earn the right as an opening batsman to get to the spin bowling to face through the fast bowling. So I need to play both essentially if I want to score runs and get forward. To answer your question,
so no, good. So let's go into it then. Why do you think club cricketers struggle against spin?
Yeah, so most of the club cricketers will think it's technique. What they don't have is a game plan and a set of processes to understand what spin bowling is. So, the very most important concept you have to understand. The better the spin bowler, the more you can go into your toolbox and come out with all the tricks to deal with it. Okay? The weaker the spin bowler, the simpler the game plan has to be. Now, what I mean by this, let's take a Division 8 bowler, right? Spin bowler, okay? More often than not, they're going to bowl 2 bad balls and over. Therefore, your game plan becomes very simple. Wait for the bad ball, make sure you punish the bad ball. It'll either be a full toss or be a short, long hop you can put to the boundary, right? That is as simple as it needs to be. You don't need to go into your box of tricks of coming down the wicket, of sweeping, reverse sweeping, changing positions, changing angles, stepping in and out of your cricket. You don't need to do that because you have no idea where the ball is going to be bowled. Essentially, you don't. Because the bowler has no idea where he's going to bowl the ball. Right? I'll give you a classic example. I broke my rule the other week. I was fuming with this. I scored 55, right? And a bowler came on, and he wasn't the best spin bowler, right? And I've just been sweeping him completely, because that's just my simple game. I'm just going to sweep him. Any angle, short, long, full toss, whatever, I'm going to sweep him. So they changed the field, ended up becoming a 6-3 field on my leg side, because I was sweeping there. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to just reverse sweep him now. He bowled a rank long hop, and I got out LBW because I just couldn't deal. I wasn't set up to deal with a reverse sweep with a crap rank long hop, right? It wasn't that. It was embarrassing. It was ridiculous. I looked like a dick.
But basically, you should never have done that because you should have just defended it easily, right?
Exactly. Not defended it, or waited for it and just played the natural bad ball, played it on its merit, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of club cricketers try and learn how to sweep, reverse sweep, come down the wicket, when basically at the lower standards they don't need to, because the lower the quality of the bowler, the less you need to go into your box of tricks and just wait for the bad ball. So that's the first mistake. They try and do shots that are too ambitious for the level of the bowler they're facing. Okay.
So basically, as you say, you were sweeping him, then you decided to reverse sweep rather than just watch the ball and go, oh, I can just knock it to the boundary, or
essentially in complete layman's terms,
because it's not consistent. They're not bowling consistent. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, I was sweeping just because it was the easiest way for doing it. I'm comfortable with doing that. Yeah. Right? I could have just stood there and blocked it and play off the back foot, whatever I want to do, but I just wanted to sweep him. I just that's my easiest go-to shot for dealing with any ball, because you can premeditate that at a higher level of thinking, okay? Yeah. So that was my game plan. So I got out stupidly by going to my box of tricks, by being too ambitious for the level of the ball that it was. So that is lesson number one for club cricketers. The lesser the quality of the bowler, right, the less you need to go into your toolbox to deal with that spinner. Okay? That's the biggest mistake. Second mistake, lack of patience, right? Or lack of understanding. Even lack of understanding what the pitch is. Yeah. So when a spin bowler comes on, let's now assume they're a good spin bowler. Okay? Right? So we understand when we're dealing with terrible spin bowlers, we now want to understand what do we do with good spin bowlers. Let's just assume they're all putting on the same length each and every ball, which is what a good spinner, left arm spinner, off spinner can do. Okay? First thing you're going to determine is, what is the pitch doing? Is it a raving Bunsen burner, which means it's turning and bouncing all over the place, right? Or is it a hard and fast where there's not much spin but the ball's coming onto the bat? Because how you deal with those two instances is completely different. If it's turning miles, then you are less likely to come running down the pitch to try and knock the ball back over the head or along the ground. You're less likely to use your feet. Your option becomes a sweep, okay? Essentially, if you're going to start to do sweeping, it being an attacking option, or even to rotate the strike option, or play the ball on merit, right? It's really important to understand that. If it's a fast pitch where it's not turning that much, then, well, you can get down the wicket because it's less likely to turn past the bat, right? Either into you or away from you, so you can knock it down for singles. It's a clear distinction. You're determining now what your game plan is to spin. Is it to sweep more, or is it to come down the wicket more? Right? Yeah. Now, technically, even good enough, you can do both. But the point is, you need to start thinking about this in the back of your mind. The psychology of playing spin bowler, right? But we do those two things, coming down the wicket or sweeping, because the idea with playing against spin is to do something. Absolutely do something. Most club batters, or batsmen, batswomen, batters, however we want to say it these days, they do this. Block, 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 swing, hit and hope. Block, 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 swing, hit and hope. They don't have a game plan. So you determine what the pitch will tell you what you need to be doing, as will the quality of the bowler. If it's a good bowler putting on the spot, now your next option is to decide, what is the pitch doing? Coming onto the bat, or is it turning like a raving Bunsen burner? All right? That allows you to decide what to do next. Right? Decide what your game plan is. That is, in a nutshell, the simplest way to deal with spin bowling. Right? Right? You determine those two things, then the idea is do something. Because if you're just going to block it out, block it out, block it out, then you're always going to be, in the pocket of the spin bowler. Because that's what they want to do. They're going to weigh you down just through patience. On the spot, on the spot. I see it week in, week out. Right? Batters get bored, frustrated. They need to score runs. They try and hit out, hoping that's the way to score runs. But that is not the game plan to play against spin. Your game plan to play against spin is to put them off their line length when they're a good bowler. Right? Yeah. Bad bowlers wait for the bad ball. Good bowlers, you've got to put them off their line length. Do something. All right? And that do something either means using your feet to get to the pitch of the ball, or starting to sweep to try and put them off their line of length and just infuriate the crap out of them, right? That is the key thing. But staying around this area of just defending forward defensive is not the right play to plan. If it's a short of a length, yes, and you need to be back foot and punch it. But the idea is we're trying to create gaps in the field, push the fielders back, so we can start to get the singles. That is essentially the game plan we need to do, and wait for the bad ball and put the bad balls away, because they will do bad balls. But club cricketers don't play spin well because they haven't got a game plan to playing against spin, right? But therefore also they try and practice their sweeps and reverse sweeps, but they do it to shit bowlers. It doesn't work to shit bowlers unless you have a plan. You just have to wait for the ball. But the idea is that then you come into this idea of a game plan of what you do. That is determined by the level of the bowler and the quality of the pitch. Is it turning? Is it not? Does that give you an insight, Josh, into like not being a batter?
Yeah. It's all about having a game plan, basically.
And this is absolute basic game plan strategies. Okay, absolute game plan strategies, and it has to come under a foundation of good technique. All right, now we can talk about different things.
Yeah, obviously against spin bowlers, you've got to be more patient and try not to get frustrated.
Well, in all
psychological as well, right?
There was a great comment yesterday, and I'll tell you what, there's a book, Josh, I'm going to recommend to you. It's coming out next month. It's by the mental skills coach from the All Blacks. Right?
Oh, nice.
Really interesting. There's a podcast about it, and he talks about how patience is the key to winning games. Even here, anyone who rushes is gonna impact their game performance. I mean, batting, it's a game of patience, essentially. And being cool and calm under pressure, making the right decision at the right time, particularly with batting. And that's exactly with spin bowling. If you know who the spinner is, then you can start being more proactive straight away once you assess the level of the pitch, right? However, if you've never seen a spinner before, yes, you can have a look at him for an over. You're going to determine whether he's a good bowler or a bad bowler, right? Before you start looking at things. You can't just go actively attacking him, right, in a middle overs scenario. A bit different in latter overs when you're trying to push the run rate and score runs to the highest level. But, we've got to understand what's the quality of the bowler like. That determines the types of shots and the game plan we have to have. The weaker the bowler, the more simple the plan is. The more advanced the bowler is, the more we have to adapt our game plan to it to make a decision and just do something. And in simplest format is using your feet to get to the ball or sweeping, whether it's conventional or reverse sweeping. And in the world of sweeps, there are multiple different types of sweeps. You've got lap sweep, reverse sweep, slog sweep in the air, slog sweep in the ground. There's different styles to play your game according to the fielders. But your job, if it's a good spinner to begin with, is to put the field back or send them out to create gaps to then allow you to hit singles simply and cleanly to then rotate the strike easily and then wait for the bad balls to come. Because when you're rotating the strike, spin bowlers get pissed off. They then start to bowl a bad ball, and then you can put that away as well. So suddenly 3s, 4s and over become 6s, 7s, 8s and over. Whew. That's nice. A very easy... Theory's all easy. It's actually putting it into practical application that's hard. And there's lots more to spin bowling here, but that's to give something a simple game plan for club cricketers who struggle against spin, an idea of to think differently in how to play it. And we'll come up with loads of videos around this to help you think about it in the future on YouTube, so it'll make more sense when we do that.
Brilliant. That was good. I think I've learned some things there. Thank you very much, James. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. And if you would like our free training plan, then go to cricketmatters.com/train. And remember, our goal is to make you a better cricketer.